Donaldson, left corner three, it's good! Fordham ahead by 2! Half-court heave, it won't matter. 3 teams have beaten St. Joseph's this year. You can add a fourth. Fordham upsets St. Joe's 62-57.
The Fordham Rams made a statement on Wednesday, upsetting the A10 leading St. Joseph's Hawks with a 5-point road victory. The Rams not only earned their biggest win of the season, they earned a confidence boost for the ages. And what a time to do it. Today, Fordham closes out their regular season looking to head into the A10 tournament on an 8-game winning streak. There's a certain saying in sports about getting hot at the right time. Fordham's trying to do just that. Across from them is a struggling LaSalle Explorers team that's dropped their last 8 games and sits in the basement of the A10. LaSalle beat the Rams earlier this year. A Fordham win wouldn't just be sweet revenge. It would lock down a first-round bye for the conference tournament. Does it get any better than this? It's Fordham versus LaSalle, your regular season finale, live on WFUV Sports.
March is here. It's the final day of regular season games for A10 women's basketball, and we've got a good one here in the Bronx. It's senior day on Rose Hill as the 13-15 Fordham Rams take on the 7-21 LaSalle Explorers. What's up, everybody? Lou Orlando, Chris Carrino. Chris, Fordham women's basketball coming off, simply put, the game of the season. They upset the A10 leading St. Joseph Hawks with a 5-point victory on the road. One of their most complete 40-game efforts, and something that now gives the Rams a chance to get back to 500 in conference play today. But we got to talk about that St. Joe's game. One of the best games we've seen this Fordham team play all year.
More than a big game, Lou. Also 6th in a row for this team in the win column. Very important now down the stretch heading into March. And yeah, as you said, that St. Joe's game, so important for this Fordham team. Maybe the most important moment of this season for Fordham. Not only does it kind of service as a way of putting the rest of the conference on notice ahead of tournament time, letting this Fordham team know that they are serious, but also in an internal sense, this Fordham team and the self-belief that comes from a win like that, it's so important, especially when the A10 tournament is right around the corner.
It's the final day of A10 women's basketball regular season games. Fordham a chance to close out their conference schedule with a 9-9 record if they can take down LaSalle. LaSalle's dropped the last 8 games, so a chance for Fordham to pick up a win against one of the bottom feeders in the A10. It's senior day. We'll get you all set up for everything. But before we do, Chris and I talked to head coach Bridgette Mitchell prior to the game.
Coach, your reaction to that upset against St. Joe's, that win, what do you see from the team? How'd that feel?
That was awesome. We had heckling fans. They were all over our girls. So it was nice to silence them. We played really hard and we played really tough, right? Some calls didn't go our way, and for us to be resilient and just play hard, it was really impressive to see. I was really happy with that win.
Coach, kind of getting toward the end of your first regular season here in the Bronx, is there any lesson specifically you've learned this year you'd like to implement the rest of your coaching career in the future?
Not necessarily lessons. I think that it's really from a cultural perspective that what we have to continue and how we have to establish that every year. And it's going to be something that's reoccurring and to continue to build this program.
Coach, senior day, you came in with a couple returning players, a lot of newcomers, many of them upperclassmen, seniors, grad students. What have you seen from your upperclassmen, your seniors, as they get to celebrate this day at home?
Yeah, a lot of growth, right? We had players, actually all of our seniors, because even Tilly and Miranda, they had two different coaches before me, right? And so you have people that are coming in from different backgrounds, different cultures, different experiences, to all come together and want to play for me here at Fordham was really awesome to be a part of. And I think that, how we're rounding out the season is something that they should be proud of, and how you can do it. You can go from nothing to something with believing in yourself, right? Like, there was a lot of doubt us being picked 13th. We talk about it all the time. And for us to just continue to come in every day and work is something that they should be proud of. And it's something that you need off the court, right? That resiliency and that mentality of, it doesn't matter what other people say, we're just going to keep working and put our head down.
And Wednesday, Coach, as we said, one of the biggest moments of the year, maybe one of the biggest moments in the conference all year long. How do you now kind of readjust here on Saturday and not kind of underestimate your opponent?
Yeah, I think it was the biggest for you guys. I think for us, it was another game.
Right.
And we had a great opportunity to compete and play together for 40 minutes. And that was a string of 40 minutes that we've been talking about and asking for all season. And so today we're going to look to go to do the same thing. LaSalle's a totally different team in terms of them wanting to do ISOs and them playing a much slower game. So it's going to take a lot of focus from us.
Coach, thanks a lot. Good luck today.
Thank you.
Well, a particularly beautiful rendition of our national anthem here at Rose Hill. And it's senior day, Fordham versus LaSalle, the A-10 women's basketball regular season finale. Chris, it's a little while to think about where this Fordham women's basketball team is at going into the last game of the regular season. Crazy to think that they have a chance to get back to 500 in conference play. That is not something we were thinking about, I'd say, even a month ago.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit before the game prior to this win streak in the Atlantic 10, 2-9 in conference competition. Definitely nowhere near where Coach Brissette Mitchell wanted her squad to be. But ever since, it's been a bit of a resurgence. We talked about this 7 or 8 games or so kind of being really pivotal for this team, including that road game at Rhode Island, kind of being the turning point that we talked about last game where a lot started going well after the fact. But as I said to Coach Brissette Mitchell here today, you can't underestimate this opponent in LaSalle. I understand it was easily the biggest moment of your season on Wednesday at St. Joe's, and rightfully so. Maybe the biggest win in the conference at St. Joe's this year, but it's all for nothing if you can't go out there and fully take your opponent seriously in LaSalle and get done with business today.
And you know, we've tried to get head coach Brissette Mitchell to talk a little bit about certain games being big or look towards the future, and she's been pretty unrelenting in that she won't really do that. And we'd asked her about, how big was that St. Joe's game. She said, it was big for you guys. For us, it was just another game. That's the mindset that they've taken really throughout the season, for better or worse, and now you come into this final game. It's a struggling LaSalle team, an 8-game losing streak, their second 8-game losing streak of the season. So this is a LaSalle team that has fallen on hard times, and it's a chance for Fordham to pick up a win and continue this momentum. You talk about going on a winning streak and getting hot at the right time. I mean, this is what this Fordham women's basketball team has done. The prospect of taking a 7-game winning streak into the A-10 tournament has to be very appealing.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting with Fordham looking toward the A-10 schedule, the A-10 tournament schedule, because as you said, Brissette Mitchell very much on a game-by-game basis, not trying to take too much in right now at one time. Feel the opposite about LaSalle as I do about Fordham, talking about how Fordham's key is that self-belief, and I think that self-belief will power them into the Atlantic 10 tournament. On the opposite side for LaSalle, it seems the exact opposite. They've lost their last 8 games. Their last 5 games, they've lost by at least 20 points. Not a lot of self-belief on that LaSalle side. I think it's a major factor in some of the issues they've been going through recently.
Starting lineups on Rose Hill, all seniors for the Fordham Rams. Not much of a change. It's the same starting lineup we've seen the last 2 games. At point guard, graduate student Mandy McGurk, her first year at Rose Hill, transferred after 4 years from Penn. 2 other transfers at shooting guard and small forward, Amy Hayford, Taylor Donaldson. Donaldson hit the big 3 to give Fordham the lead over St. Joe's with about 30 seconds to go. They've been the 2 biggest impact transfers for Fordham this year. At the 4, Matilda Flood, one of the longest tenured Fordham Rams on this squad in her 4th season. And at center, Amanat Ali, 6'4", transferring over from Cleveland State, 4 years there. So an experienced starting five. Cool to get those starters out there in senior day, but that's not a token starting lineup. This is the starting lineup that they've been going with.
Yeah, and we noticed it during the senior day festivities earlier. Not many women on this team who aren't seniors, only 4 or 5 who are on the bench giving out the flowers to their fellow seniors. But yeah, an older squad seemingly poised to do something here in this postseason.
The starting five for LaSalle: Michaela Miller, Nicole Melius, Molly Massantonio, Tiara Bolden, and Jolene Armandaris. LaSalle in all yellow with blue stripes. Fordham in their whites with maroon striping. Here's the tip, batted back by Lee, but controlled by Massantonio. LaSalle ball to start. Fordham versus LaSalle, the A10 women's basketball regular season finale. Massantonio controls up top. Guarded by Hayford, puts her back to the basket. Uses a screen from Melius. Massantonio, left wing, steps up to the elbow, takes the deep two. It bounces out, and Donaldson the rebound. Fordham at ninth place, cross-court pass, far corner. Amy Hayford, the three, hits off the side of the backboard. Massantonio will move the other way. Massantonio, left elbow, drives down, kicks out. The three from Armandaris, no good. And Lee the rebound. McGurk outlets Donaldson, left wing. Donaldson, 18 points against St. Joe's. This is Hayford, drives the left lane, up with the right hand, too short. Aminata Lee, the follow-up, no good. Gives another effort, and that time draws the foul.
Lee, so important in their last game against St. Joe's. St. Joe's size, one of the things that they covet the most and one of the most valuable parts of their game. Lee really neutralizing both of their big men, including Ziegler, who had a bit of an illness, but nonetheless, Lee, so important. Her and Matilda Flood combining for 16 rebounds last game.
Aminata Lee, 8 points, 8 rebounds, so 8 of those 16 as she sinks the first free throw. And she was a big part of that St. Joe's team who went in talking about their size. Fordham didn't have Rose Nelson in that game, but Aminata Lee stepped up big. Second free throw from Lee. 2 for 2 trip from the line. Fordham a 2-0 lead, 9:07 to go in the first.
Fordham coming out in a press here defensively, putting some pressure on the Explorers.
It's McGurk and Flood up top. They outlet Tiara Bolden left wing all alone, but it's short. Hayford the rebound. Hayford right wing, picks up the dribble down to the post for Lee. Lee back to the basket, working on Bolden, shovels across for Amy Hayford. Hayford can't handle the pass. This will be LaSalle ball.
It's another theme we've talked about with Fordham all year long, not giving away chances that are given to you. That includes turnovers, giving away the ball, just more of a security over the ball is really important.
No listed forwards in the starting lineup for LaSalle. They've had a couple injuries. Michaela Miller takes the deep left wing three. It's off right iron. Donaldson wrestling for the rebound with Tiara Bolden. And Bolden able to force the jump ball, but it'll be Fordham ball by the possession error.
And love the hustle there from Taylor Donaldson getting on the floor. Speaking to a point you just made, talking about how there's no forwards in this LaSalle lineup. Usually Fordham fares very well in the A10 against smaller sized teams, including teams like St. Bonaventure.
Jolene Armandaris would technically be their 5. She's listed as a 6-foot guard. The lob down low for Lee off the backboard and in on the feed from Matilda Flood.
The catching ability inside for Lee really been one of the most strongest parts of her game.
4-0, Fordham ahead, 8:13 in the first. It's Massantonio up top, the longest tenured LaSalle Explorer. A lot of newcomers on this team, a lot of newcomers in the starting 5. Massantonio straight on, dribble drive, spins into the paint, kicks out. Melius kicks for Armandaris, straight away 3, it's off. Lee has the rebound slapped out of her hands, but Hayford there to pick it up. Hayford speeding ahead into the paint, up with the left hand, it's in. 6-0 lead for Fordham, 7:40 to go.
Footwork in the left and right lane is how Amy Hayford gets to the basket. No difference there.
Well, another strong start for Fordham. They had a nice start against St. Joe's on Wednesday. Naylor dishes right for Massantonio. It's McGurk guarding Massantonio. Passes straight on for Bolden. Bolden dribbles left now, passes left for Miller. Miller drives, stops on the block, kicks out up top. Massantonio, 3 on the shot clock. Bolden jabs and passes. The shot clock expires. Miller trying to heave up a 3 before the buzzer ran off, but much too late, and that's a bad pass by Tiara Bolden, unaware of the shot clock.
And this Fordham team always very aware defensively of those shot clock violations. It's one of the things that gets them going and gets them excited on the defensive end.
Taya Davis and Kayla Harris check in. Kayla Harris in her graduate student year. Miranda Nyborg, the only senior yet to not get in today. Davis free throw line, bounces down low for Harris, can't get the shot to roll in. Hayford grabs the offensive rebound. Far corner drive, picks up her dribble in the paint, kicks out Davis left wing. Davis drives down, now kicks out Donaldson. Donaldson, step back three, it's short, flood the offensive rebound, another second chance opportunity. Davis straight on, 15 on the shot clock, drives, draws the foul. Nicole Melius got her hands on that ball, swatted it away, but must have caught part of the hand of Taya Davis.
And a lot of that entire possession, and the reason why Fordham's getting a chance to get some points on this possession here is because of the work of Matilda Flood. Twice she either batted the ball on the first offensive rebound or corralled it on the second. She's the reason they had a third chance on this possession, and the reason Taya Davis is at the line right now.
Fordham leads 6-0 with 6:35 to go. Davis's first free throw rolls out. It was Davis at the line that came up with the big shots late against St. Joe's. Fordham did not do great from the line in that game, but Davis 4 for 5 and hit the 2 to go up by a 2-score lead.
Yeah, the precision and the carefulness Taylor Donaldson and Taya Davis played with down the stretch of that game, one of the reasons they won.
1 for 2 trip for Taya Davis as she buries the second. Fordham leads 7-0, 6:35 in the first. Full court press still in effect. Miller, cross-court pass, Bolden in transition through the paint, Euro step, up with the right, and off the backboard and in. Pretty move, and LaSalle on the board. 7-2, Fordham ahead. 6:20 in the first. Davis delays up top, uses a Harris screen down to the elbow, back out Donaldson. Swings left, Hayford the 3. It's short, and the rebound Melius. Hayford pressures on that Melius pass, slaps it out of bounds, but it will stay with LaSalle.
Coach Brissette Mitchell talked about the type of competitor Amy Hayford is before the game. You see it there. She is showing all kinds of effort, not only today, but this last stretch of games really can see a pumping up of the effort from Amy Hayford. Definitely appreciated from her head coach.
Well, per the words of Brissette Mitchell, she just goes out there and wants to kick everyone's butt. That's a direct quote from your head coach, and it's a pretty good one to get.
Yeah, definitely.
Melius lob inside. Now back out.
Going to be some sort of turnover here.
Maybe 3 seconds in the paint.
Yeah, it seemed like it.
They fed Emily Tejada inside. Tejada returning from an injury that sidelined her since January 15th. The turnover, Fordham ball. 5:40 to go in the first. Davis straight on for Donaldson. Back to Davis, right wing. Here comes McGurk wheeling around straight on into the corner for Donaldson. Bounces down low, Flood. Flood cross-court pass, McGurk, right wing. Sends it left wing for Donaldson, the 3, rolls out. And the rebound, with some trouble, is secured by LaSalle. And now we've got a foul as Armendariz sent hard to the ground.
Obviously don't love those kind of fouls, especially late in the game when they get so valuable.
Miranda Nyborg comes in, Matilda Flood comes out, so every senior has entered this game on senior day. 5:21 in the first, Fordham a 5-point lead.
Nyborg receiving pretty important minutes against St. Joe's as well.
Stepped up big with Rose Nelson not traveling. Massantonio swings left, Miller drives inside, now kicks for Bolden. Back up top, Massantonio, the straight on 3, it's off. Nyborg the rebound. Davis sends it ahead for Harris, has some trouble with it, but it stays here. Far corner 3, McGurk, it's short. The rebound by Bolden. Ahead to Massantonio, far side. Dribbles on the left wing. Corner, swings it left. Tejada, the 3, it's good! LaSalle gets their first 3 of the ball game. They're back within 2.
Tejada been injured for stretches of this season. One of the most integral parts of this LaSalle lineup.
One of the few forwards listed on their roster at 6 foot. Some much needed height for this team. Harris on the right block, finishes wide open on a beautiful feed from Taya Davis.
Taya Davis facilitating, but a whole nother level this back half of the A-10 conference schedule.
9-5, Fordham ahead. 5 minutes into this A-10 women's basketball game. Melius tries the drive, but called for the travel. Fordham ahead 9-5, 4:09 to go in our first quarter. That will take us to our first break. You're listening to Fordham women's basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Spiro Ditas, WFUV class of 2001. WFUV is the epicenter of Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, men's and women's basketball, and of course, our iconic Saturday show, One on One. So keep your radios locked in right here, 90.7 FM, for all things WFUV Sports.
Coach, your reaction to that upset against St. Joe's, that win, what do you see from the team? How'd that feel?
That was awesome. We had heckling fans. They were all over our girls. So it was nice to silence them. We played really hard and we played really tough, right? Some calls didn't go our way, and for us to be resilient and just play hard, it was really impressive to see. I was really happy with that win.
Coach, kind of getting toward the end of your first regular season here in the Bronx, is there any lesson specifically you've learned this year you'd like to implement the rest of your coaching career in the future?
Not necessarily lessons. I think that it's really from a cultural perspective that what we have to continue and how we have to establish that every year. And it's going to be something that's reoccurring and to continue to build this program.
Coach, senior day, you came in with a couple returning players, a lot of newcomers, many of them upperclassmen, seniors, grad students. What have you seen from your upperclassmen, your seniors, as they get to celebrate this day at home?
Yeah, a lot of growth, right? Like we had players, actually all of our seniors, because even Tilly and Miranda, they had two different coaches before me, right? And so you have people that are coming in from different backgrounds, different cultures, different experiences, to all come together and want to play for me here at Fordham was really awesome to be a part of. And I think that how we're rounding out the season is something that they should be proud of, and how you can do it. You can go from nothing to something with believing in yourself, right? Like there was a lot of doubt us being picked 13th. We talk about it all the time, and for us to just continue to come in every day and work is something that they should be proud of, and it's something that you need off the court, right? That resiliency and that mentality of it doesn't matter what other people say. We're just going to keep working and put our head down.
Wednesday, Coach, as we said, one of the biggest moments of the year, maybe one of the biggest moments in the conference all year long. How do you now kind of readjust here on Saturday and not kind of underestimate your opponent?
Yeah, I think it was the biggest for you guys. I think for us it was another game, and we had a great opportunity to compete and play together for 40 minutes, and that was a string of 40 minutes that we've been talking about and asking for all season. And so today we're going to look to go to do the same thing. LaSalle's a totally different team in terms of them wanting to do ISOs and then playing a much slower game. So it's going to take a lot of focus from us.
Coach, thanks a lot. Good luck today.
Thank you.
Antonio trapped up top, bounces right, now into the corner, Tejada. Tejada's 3, nothing but net, back-to-back threes from Tejada, and LaSalle back within one.
As you said, Lou, one of the bigger players on this LaSalle team, if she could spread the floor like that with some threes, could be a big problem for this Fordham team.
9-8 Fordham, 3:30 here in the first. McGurk back to Davis up top. Davis swings it back to McGurk, left wing, 12 on the shot clock. Davis, the lob down low for Kayla Harris, triple teamed, can't handle the pass. I think they'll say last touch by LaSalle, one of those tall trees down there. Got a finger on it.
Yeah, maybe the best case scenario there for Fordham. Definitely a very inerrant pass. Don't think you're going to get it to her there, so I think best case scenario is it goes off of the Explorers.
Donaldson, Nyborg, Harris all come out. The baseline inbound for Taya Davis. Lobs it up for Amina Lee, but Hayford there to catch it behind her. Hayford straight on, uses the Lee screen. Left elbow extended. The shot clock expires. Hayford made the shot, but lost track of the shot clock. Remember, shot clock didn't reset because LaSalle just tipped it out of bounds.
Yeah, and the last place we were on Wednesday, St. Joe's, they give you a little bit of a counting clock with the crowd.
Miller swings left, the 3 from Tejada, again buries it. 3 straight threes from Emily Tejada. LaSalle their first lead of the ball game, 11-9. 2:50 to go in the first. McGurk left wing, swings it right for Hayford into the hands of Davis. Davis's pass tipped, but into the hands of Matilda Flood in the far corner. Cross corner pass for Hayford, left wing McGurk. Fakes the pass right, now swings it back to the corner Hayford. Hayford drives, swings short corner, Flood. 5 on the shot clock. Davis right wing, corner McGurk. McGurk drives the baseline, floater rolls out, Lee the rebound. Staying here for Fordham, kicks out Flood. Now Hayford drives inside, stops, and 3 seconds called on Aminata Lee before Hayford could throw that shot up.
Yeah, another 3-second call on the offensive end. First one went on LaSalle. An 11-2 run for this LaSalle team, starting the game off down 7-0. And they're using the 3-ball, as you said earlier, one of the major components of this comeback so far.
An 11-2 run led by 3 straight threes from Emily Tejada, who returned from injury. Last time she played was January 15th. The lob down low for Malias finishes the right block.
We just talked about her. Malias showing off the basketball IQ there.
2 minutes to go in the first. LaSalle a 4-point lead. Davis swings left, Donaldson. McGurk right wing. Sends it left for Flood. Flood at the perimeter into the far corner, Donaldson. Donaldson drives baseline, tries to pass out, but it's deflected and stolen by LaSalle. Massantonio ahead to Turco. Cross court for Armendariz. Right wing takes the open 3. It's good! Another 3 from the LaSalle Explorers, and that will trigger the timeout from head coach Bridgette Mitchell. LaSalle on a 16-2 run. They lead 16-9.
You called it, Lou. You talked about how important the 3-ball is to this LaSalle team and their identity. They come out on this major run now, 16-2 run over Fordham, and the 3-ball maybe been the most important component of that so far. Whether it's Armendariz or whether it's Tejada who's coming off that injury, seems like they're really using that 3-ball well, and really efficient as well.
Well, they started out 0 for 5 from beyond the arc, but they've made their last 4, so that's 4 for 9 if you do some quick math now. And I mean,
impressive.
Again, go figure. I try sometimes. 27.1% from beyond the arc coming into this game. Worst in the A10. Bottom of D1 basketball. And going off from beyond the arc to give LaSalle a 7-point lead. It's Fordham ball. Donaldson swings left for Davis. Lobs to the free throw line, Lee. Short corner, Flood. Cross court for Donaldson, right wing. Bounces corner, McGurk. McGurk drives inside, back out Donaldson. Donaldson, dribble drive, elbow floater, misses left of the rim. Davis, the offensive rebound, drives inside, pretty move, and gets the shot up from the left block.
Pretty Euro step by Taya Davis, finding all the open space under the basket.
16-11, LaSalle leads as our clock ticks under a minute for the first quarter. Malias, right wing, up top, Armendariz. Armendariz swings right for Tejada. Tejada dribbles straight on. Corner for Malias. Guarded by Flood. Swings it left, Armendariz. They play catch back to Malias. Chucks up the 3. It's good, nothing but net. Another 3 from LaSalle. 19-11 the lead with 30 seconds.
As I said before, you don't just make 410 threes in high school by accident, Lou.
The 3-ball invigorating this LaSalle offense. 23 seconds left. Shot clock 1 second behind the game clock. Flood drives inside. Up with the right hand. No good. But draws the foul on the way there. She'll go to the line.
And we saw it, Lou, last game. Matilda Flood using that speed downhill in transition to get a lot of really important buckets down the stretch of that St. Joe's game. Seems like she's using some of that nifty veteran footwork under the basket as well to get to the line.
Third straight game started for Matilda Flood as the first free throw goes up and rolls in. 19-12, Fordham trails. Along with Miranda Nyborg, the longest tenured Fordham Rams. Second for Flood, perfect trip, 2 for 2. Here comes Rose Nelson as she checks out Flood. Nelson missed the last 2 games due to personal matters, but back here today for the regular season finale. 15 seconds left on the first quarter, shot clock is off. Melius had trouble with that pass as Gabby Turco, facing the Fordham press, sent an errant pass towards the sideline.
LaSalle with a lot of momentum right now, but a lot of it's coming from threes as well. Not a ton of build-up. Fordham with a real chance to snatch their momentum back.
5 seconds to go. Davis, dribble drive, bounces across. Lee finishes on the right block, and Fordham back within 4 as the first quarter expires. So LaSalle goes on a run, but Fordham gets a couple points back there at the end and only trail by 4 the first quarter.
Yeah, Fordham started really hot in this game, started kind of sloppy, didn't play great basketball the entire quarter, really. LaSalle taking a little time to get ready, missing their first 5 threes and then making 4 of the next 9, really getting themselves back in this game, that large run after the 7-0, giving LaSalle the lead. Fordham wouldn't be worried from Fordham's perspective right now. They were up a lot early. They went down a little bit, but they've handled this surgence from LaSalle. Call it a surgence from LaSalle. They're only down 4, and I think only being down 4 right now after how bad some of that basketball you played in the first quarter could be a good spot.
1 quarter of play through here from Rose Hill on senior day. LaSalle leads 19-15. You're listening to Fordham Women's Basketball on WFUV Sports.
What's going on, guys? Bridge Gotham here, your New York Giants beat reporter for WFUV Sports. Be on the lookout for weekly reports and game recaps on WFUV's YouTube channel. We'll be covering the action all season long. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at BGBridge for updates throughout the games. For all things Big Blue, stay tuned all season long.
Hi, this is Mike Breen, WFUV class of 1983. WFUV is the flagship station of Fordham Athletics with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to Saturday one-on-one. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV Sports.
Finale here from Rose Hill, senior day in the Bronx. Fordham trails 19-15. You know, for I'd say the first 5 minutes of our game here kind of went according to script when you look at Fordham taking on the 4-13 in conference LaSalle Explorers. They've lost their 8 straight. Fordham gets off to this nice run, but LaSalle comes storming back in the second half, starts hitting from 3, and Fordham now in a situation where they need to get back in this game a little.
Yeah, they need to defend the 3 better. I think perimeter defense, the most important thing for this Fordham team moving forward, along with just some more consistency on the offensive end, hitting your shots, getting to your spots. Those are some of the keys for Fordham pushing forward.
Miller sends a pass inside. It's tipped by Nelson, but back into the hands of Miller. 13 on the shot clock. Armendaris left wing. Sends it into the paint for Melias. It's blocked by Nelson. Out of bounds. It will stay here for LaSalle with 8 seconds on the shot clock. But Rose Nelson rising up and sending it back.
Rose Nelson not wasting time, showing how valuable she is to this team, not only on the offensive end, but the defensive end too.
The pass inside for Bolden, floats in the air, banks the shot in, and draws the foul, and 1 attempt for Tiara Bolden. A pretty move off the inbound.
The LaSalle team really impressive on the offensive end. I think they're taking this Fordham team a bit by surprise here defensively. Fordham team really needs to get it together.
21-15, Fordham trails by 6 as Bolden goes to the line. Nothing but net in the free throw, a 7-point lead for LaSalle, just 25 seconds into our second quarter. Davis swings right for Donaldson. LaSalle in a zone defense. Davis up top, weaves into the paint, lob down low for Lee. Lee goes up with the left hand, it rolls out. Swatted out of bounds. And will stay here for Fordham. 20 on the shot clock.
Yeah, I would utilize Lee a little more in the middle. She showed she can brunt that large amount of the load last game against St. Joe's. Really should try and find her, especially against an undersized defense like LaSalle.
Davis wheels around the arc, kicks out Hayford. Hands off for Davis, 10 on the shot clock. Davis dribble drive, left lane, up with the right hand, it's good. Davis scores inside again, Fordham back within 5.
Mass Antonio wanted no business guarding that crossover.
Armendaris takes the straight on 3 and misses left. Lee the rebound into the hands of Davis. Davis with speed ahead, kicks out Donaldson. Right wing three, it's good! Donaldson's first of the game, and Fordham back within 2. Antonio with speed ahead, passes left, Armandaris. This time she won't take the 3. It's back to the Fordham logo for Antonio. Left for Miller. Miller pumps, drives, corner, Bolden. Bolden pumps and drives, now kicks out Miller. Left wing 3. It's short, but Bolden, the offensive rebound, hands it off for Antonio. Up top, Malias, the straight on 3, nothing but net. And LaSalle answers with a 3 of their own.
This LaSalle team's 2 main priorities on the offensive end: find a spot on the three-point line and let it fly.
And Nicole Malias loves to let it fly from beyond the arc. 197 three-pointers attempted coming into this game, second most in the A-10. 25-20, LaSalle leads, 7:55 to go in our first half. Hayford far corner, Donaldson the 3. It's long, and the rebound by Bolden. Sends it across for Miller. Miller straight on, right wing pass, Antonio. Fakes, drives, kicks out Bolden. Bolden drives, free throw line. Pump fake, gets Davis in the air and draws the foul as Davis topples on top of her. Knocks Bolden to the ground, a little bit of an awkward collision there.
Yeah, a lesson that every Fordham player can take here. Not leaving your feet defensively, making sure you stay grounded, staying disciplined. Discipline would be the word I would use to maybe describe what Fordham needs to do on this defensive end.
Fordham trails by 5, 7:30 to go in the second. Antonio at the block F of the Fordham logo. Passes left for Bolden. Up top, Malias. Right for Armandaris. Back up top, Miller. Miller straight on. We've got a foul off ball. Looks to be on Fordham.
Matilda Flood went to high-five Amy Hayford thinking it was an offensive foul. Definitely some confusion on the court.
Amy Hayford, the guilty party. It's Antonio off the inbound. Wheels around the arc all the way up to the logo. Flood out to guard her on the block F. 10 on the shot clock. Antonio uses the Malias screen, dribbles to the right block, now kicks out for Bolden. And I'll say last tipped by Amanat Ali. Amanat Ali just said to the ref, "I didn't touch it, I swear," but will not be able to sway the ref. Just 6 seconds on the shot clock for this sideline inbound.
Can't get over that accent still. Fantastic accent.
Antonio bounces Miller right wing, dribbles left to the elbow, pump fake, chucks up the shot. It misses the rim entirely. It'll be Fordham ball. Miller felt the pressure of the shot clock, but had a couple more seconds than I think she realized.
Yeah, had a few more seconds than I think she realized, and also another great possession defensively for Fordham. Those shot clock violations, something, as I said before, they covet very heavily, and they love to get a shot clock. Fires them and their bench up.
6:53 to go in our first half. McGurk left elbow pass Flood. Flood down low for Lee, pivots around, goes up on the left block, it's short. Ball picked up off the ground and now fought for between Donaldson and Antonio. Jump ball in possession, Fordham. Antonio got there first, but credit Donaldson dove right on the floor and got into the scrap.
Yeah, Taylor Donaldson, a lot of friends and family in the building for senior day today. Want to play as hard as she can, leave everything on the floor.
McGurk baseline inbound is tipped and stolen by Antonio. And then Amanat Ali trying to poke it away from Antonio, calling for the reach-in foul.
Antonio, similarly to I think the amount of attention St. Joe's gave to Taylor Donaldson, I think if you can stop Antonio from beating you, you can stop the rest of the Explorers from beating you as well.
Miller drives left, comes up short after the contest from Amanat Ali. It's McGurk the other way. Into the corner, Donaldson wide open, bounces out. Offensive rebound is not corralled by Flood as Malias there to get it. She's trapped in the corner, gets it ahead to Bolden, they break the press. Swings left, Antonio, left wing three, much too strong, but Bolden the offensive rebound, second chance falls.
Gotta limit the second chances if you're a Fordham defense. Can't let them do anything on the offensive glass, or you have to make them turn the ball over, cannot let them be as conservative as they have been on the offensive end.
27-20 LaSalle, Donaldson drives in and hacked on the way. Went up with the left hand, took some contact, and go to the line.
Thought we might not hear a foul there for a second.
There was a little bit of a delayed call for sure. Taylor Donaldson will get herself to the line with Fordham trailing by 7. Taylor Donaldson, the hero in the upset victory over St. Joe's. 18 points, a team-leading 18 points, hit the three with 30 seconds left, and buries the free throw here.
Taylor Donaldson, maybe the most experienced and best scorer in this conference. We talked about they had one last shot against St. Joe's last week. Not another player in the conference you'd rather have taken it than Taylor Donaldson.
2-for-2 trip for Donaldson. She leads the A-10 with 17.7 points per game. Left wing three, Melias rolls in. Another three from LaSalle, up to 30 points with 5 to go in the second quarter. 8-point lead for LaSalle. Donaldson, left wing, steps up, takes the floater. It's well short. Donaldson tried to battle for that offensive rebound. It's knocked out of bounds. And tough to see which way. I think they might say staying with Fordham.
I believe they will say it stays with Fordham.
So Donaldson was able to pressure, didn't pick up the ball, but forced the ball out of bounds off a LaSalle player. Hayford, the trigger man on the baseline. 20 seconds on the shot clock. It's Kayla Berry, left elbow. Sends it in for Kayla Harris, right block. Spins around, up with the right hand, and nice touch on the soft floater. Fordham back within 6.
Beautiful footwork in the post there.
Armendaris, right for Melias. Hands off on the right wing, Massantonio. Back up top, Armendaris fakes the pass inside, swings right, Melias. Up top, Miller, 13 on the shot clock. Massantonio, open right wing, nothing but net. Another three from LaSalle. They keep burying them. 33-24, LaSalle ahead.
Melias and Massantonio working as a tag team right now. They are letting it fly.
Donaldson up top, the lob down low for Kayla Harris. Can't handle the pass, but she is bodied by Emily Tejada.
Emily Tejada saying foul in a very question way. Not happy with that foul whatsoever, but she hit the ground pretty hard.
Well, 4:41 to go in our second quarter. The media timeout is upon us, and LaSalle leading by 9, 33-24. They continue to be left open from beyond the arc, and they continue to hit.
Yeah, they continue to hit. This Fordham team needs to put a significant amount of pressure on this perimeter. I'm sure it'll be one of the halftime adjustments that Coach Brissette Mitchell makes. But the three-pointer, the most coveted, the most important part of this LaSalle offense, don't know how impactful and important this LaSalle offense can play without that three-pointer. So just neutralizing that and neutralizing Massantonio and Melias in general, those two players, I think without them, it'd be really hard for LaSalle to stay into this game. So just neutralizing those two, not letting those two beat you, I think should be some of the main points for this Fordham defense.
After an 0-for-5 start from beyond the arc, LaSalle 8 of 11. Perfect 3-for-3s from Melias and Emily Tejada. Massantonio and Armendaris each have one each. And I know that you go in with the game plan of LaSalle doesn't hit from beyond the arc, that low percentage that we talked about. But when they keep hitting like this, you have to make the adjustment if you're Fordham. You have to start closing out beyond the arc.
Yeah, the adjustment has to be made. The attention needs to be paid to. And what's surprising me the most about this LaSalle team offensively, not that they're making all these shots, but the shots in which they are taking. They're not taking bad shots. They're taking good shots, and they honestly are hitting on almost all of them, hitting on the majority of the threes they're taking ever since that 0-for-5 state in the beginning of the game. So, yeah, just how patient they're being with their shots and just how efficient they're being is kind of the two things most jumping out to me with this LaSalle offense.
Conversely, with Fordham, 34% from the field, not awful, but 1 from 8 from beyond the arc, and they were 2 of 15 from beyond the arc against St. Joe's. I think very quietly did not shoot the ball that well against St. Joe's, but hit the threes when they needed them. Donaldson had the 2 threes, and even she was 2 for 9 from beyond the arc, so not super efficient. But the big difference there is that St. Joe's is very ineffective from beyond the arc either. That has not been the case today for LaSalle. Fordham held St. Joe's to 4 of 18 from beyond the arc, and we kind of noted that St. Joe's felt like they were off a little bit. That has not been the case with LaSalle. We've given a lot of credit to Fordham defensively, but it's been a slow start for them.
Yeah, and that was one of the major things we talked about leaving that game from St. Joe's, how Fordham didn't really even shoot the ball well at all. And to your point, a team like St. Joe's, you can do that against and still stay very competitive. A team like this, LaSalle, where they can get hot as they are right now, they haven't necessarily done this all year long, but how they're playing right now, a team like Fordham can't necessarily shoot with a team like LaSalle at this amount of efficiency and at this abundance. Fordham just can't do it. Fordham needs to stick to their game, move the ball. The ball is sticking a little bit on the offensive end, ball movement, and just finding more just open shots, more conservative shots. That's what I would do to get back in this game for the Fordham offense.
Fordham ball out of break. Harris kicks out Donaldson. Right wing three, rolls off the rim, and Miller the rebound. Fordham still trails by 9, 4:3 to go in the first half. Armendariz left for Miller at the tip of the Fordham logo. 20 on the shot clock. Miller steps up, now drives. She's swarmed by Harris and Hayford. Hayford gets in there and tries to rip the ball away, but it's called a jump ball.
And it's not an effort problem on the defensive end for this Fordham team. Kind of looking at the defense we were just talking about, I don't think the effort is the issue. It's more they just got to pay the attention where they need to pay the attention, and that attention is the perimeter on the three-point line.
Massantonio, right wing, 10 on the shot clock. She's guarded by Barry. Bounces right for Armendariz. Up top, Melias. 5 on the shot clock. Melias drives to the elbow. Heave off the back foot. It's short. The rebound secured by Michaela Miller. And Donaldson once again gets in there and forces the jump ball. This time possession arrow the way of Fordham.
Yeah, and great play to force the jump ball inside. It seemed like it was inevitably going to be another offensive rebound for LaSalle. All in all, another good possession for this Fordham defense. They need to compound a few of those.
3:55. McGurk up top, throws it right for Donaldson. Donaldson straight on, bounces left, Hayford. Hayford inside the paint for Barry, goes up with the right hand. It's wild and misses the rim. Miller moving in transition. Fordham gets back. Armendariz, right wing, steps into the three. It rolls out. Bolden, the rebound goes up, blocked by Harris. But they'll say a foul, and Bolden will go to the line.
And I'm a firm believer, Lou, and earned it at the line. If a shot like that is going to be so easy under the basket, why not send the player to the line, make him make 2 free throws?
Tiara Bolden, a 65.7% shooter. Spent last year with Eastern Arizona. That's a community college, and when you look at 4 of the starting 5 on this LaSalle team, none of them were playing D1 basketball last year. The only one's Massantonio. Everyone else, either a freshman in Melias or D2 or community college transfers.
And that's one of the big headlines for this Fordham team, the inexperience they have playing together. But this Fordham team still has that D1 experience, that D1 playing time. This LaSalle team has none of that. Very inexperienced team. I think if you can get people like Melias to come into your program, get people like that to buy in, seems like they may have something special kind of brewing down at LaSalle, especially with the new arena coming in as well next year.
It's a perfect 2-or-2 trip for Bolden. The lead up to 11 for LaSalle. Lee down low, kicks out Davis left wing. Davis stays behind the arc, now uses the flood screen, passes right for Donaldson. Back to Davis. Davis left arc. Gets a screen from Flood, drives inside, righty floater, bounces out. Lee, the offensive rebound, tries to take it back up, but Michaela Miller grabs the ball down low and forces the jump ball. Possession arrow LaSalle.
Lee needs to keep the ball high there. No other players for LaSalle even close to her height on the defensive end. Just more dominance inside. Need to see it from Lee.
LaSalle in the bonus with 3 minutes to go in the first half. LaSalle just 2 fouls on their side. Miller up top, an 11-point lead. Armendariz right wing. Swings it left for Massantonio. Massantonio wheels around, elbow, kicks out Bolden. Bolden straight on, drives, right lane, up with the right hand, it's good. LaSalle extends the lead to 13.
Bolden, in these stretches where they're not hitting a ton of threes, she is still keeping them very efficient on the offensive end.
Davis drives inside, up with the right hand, it's good. A tough drive and a tough shot by Taya Davis. 37-26, 2:20 to go in the first half. Taya Davis up to 7 points today. Melias uses a screen, sends it right for Armendariz, drives down to the block, blocked by Amina Lee from behind. Didn't even jump to do that. Taya Davis, dribble drive, free throw line, gets inside and poked away. Amina Lee comes away with it, but they'll say jump ball on that wrestle attempt. To me, that looked like Amina Lee wrestled that ball away. Chris, you see me making a face.
Yeah, when I don't even think one person had possession, it's wild to say that two of them had the possession. I think that was still a loose ball.
Well, it's Fordham ball with the possession arrow. 1:58 to go in the first half. Davis into the corner, Donaldson. The short two is short. The rebound by Aminata Lee fading away as she tries to go back up and draws contact.
And I've been talking for 2 games now about the catching of Amata Lee. For either it's a pass from a teammate or it's off the glass. Her hands able to get their hands on the ball and corral it. Some of the best in the conference. We saw it there on the offensive glass. We've been seeing it in these last 2 games, specifically in that St. Joe's game as well. One of the more valuable parts of her game. And she can get that ball down there at any time she wants.
Lee misses the first free throw, but she's had quite the impact on the boards. This is now 8 rebounds for Aminata Lee, and we're not done with the first half. 0 for 2 trip from the line for Lee, but the ball tipped back to Taya Davis. Fordham another chance. 1:49. Davis drives left, up with the right hand on the pump faking up, and misses wildly. Mass Antonio crosses timeline. Right wing, 1:35. LaSalle still leads by 11. It's Mass Antonio straight on, 15 on the shot clock, guarded by Flood. Swings right for Miller, into the paint, Armendaris off the glass and in.
This LaSalle offense so efficient, they're getting to wherever they want to get to and scoring.
Outlet pass for Donaldson, right wing, she'll slow it down, up top Davis. Flood coming up for the screen right. Davis doesn't do much with it. Sends it to the block. Amina Lee finishes on the block. 39-28, the LaSalle lead as Aminata Lee up to 8 points with 9 rebounds. Armendaris fakes, drives inside, now back out. Mass Antonio, less than a minute to go in our second quarter. 49 seconds and taking. Miller right wing. Miller guarded by Lee. Looking for a pass, bounces inside. Mass Antonio sends Flood to the ground, led with the shoulder, and she's called for the offensive foul.
What do I always say, Lou? Matilda Flood doing Matilda Flood things. That includes taking the plunge from her team. She had one in the St. Joe's game as well. One of the many reasons why her teammates love her so much.
Let it be noted that getting the feet set counts as Matilda Flood doing Matilda Flood things. Near corner, Amy Hayford uses a Lee screen as she wheels around straight on. Lee sends it right for Flood, finishes on the block. A beautiful feed from Aminata Lee and the smooth finish from Flood.
And great facilitating out of the post, so valuable in this conference, and you saw it there from Lee. Fantastic.
Fordham trails by 9, 11 seconds left. LaSalle ball, shot clock is off. Straight on Bolden, 5 to go. Hands off Miller at the logo, 4 and 3. Miller dribbles, feeds away from 2. It's off the backboard and in. What a shot from Michaela Miller to end the half.
Wow.
My goodness, Chris.
That was unbelievable. She got her feet set, looked down at her feet, saw where they were, knew where she was, and knew how to take that one. Fantastic stuff on that possession, but in general, a fantastic first half for this LaSalle team. A LaSalle team that has gone through a ton of recent struggles. To come out like that, just fantastic.
LaSalle has lost their 8 straight games, but they are trying to upset Fordham on senior day. They lead 41-30 thanks to a last-second shot from Michaela Miller. Bolden and Melias led the way with 11 points apiece, and Chris, Fordham has some things to figure out here in the second half. Started off strong, but the last 15 minutes, that was all LaSalle.
Yeah, I know Coach Brissette Mitchell always talks about every game is the same and you take it game by game, but I think she would be lying if she said her and her team weren't surprised right now, weren't taken off a bit by this result of the first half. Obviously, it's senior day, so there's families here, a lot going on, but with a team of lesser talent like LaSalle, after coming off a win against St. Joe's, they're definitely shocked to see where they are right now, and they got to figure it out. It's getting close. They're running out of time.
I think you correctly highlighted this game as a potential trap game when you come off the rush of going to St. Joe's, the A-10 leaders, and beating them by 5. I mean, that's a huge rush and a huge win. And then you look at your schedule on Saturday, and it's the longest losing streak in the A-10 in LaSalle, a team that hasn't won since January 31st. and it's hard not to have a letdown. And then you add in the emotional effect of senior day, some tears and whatnot. There's a lot of different stuff going on. It can be easy to get distracted and not do what the key word that's been for Bridgette Mitchell is focus. That's been the key word this week, and I'm not sure that Fordham was super focused in that first half.
Yeah, I don't believe this team is super focused either. I think, obviously, the hangover off of the massive win at St. Joe's is a part of the problem, but also looking at a roster, like you said, of a team like LaSalle, who's maybe one of the more struggling teams in the entire conference, you still have to look at that roster. When you talk about people like Mass Antonio, when you talk about people like Malias, these are dangerous players that can put you in super precarious positions and players you really can't take lightly at all.
Well, we don't have a studio crew today, but we've gathered some halftime material for you guys. We've got a report from Chris Persianen about the Knicks. We've got a report from our very own Chris Carrino, who's sitting right next to me and is talking about the New York Rangers and the New York Devils game. So we'll send you to that stuff. We'll be back after halftime and take you through the second half. It's Fordham women's basketball on WFUV Sports.
110-99, your final score from Madison Square Garden as the Golden State Warriors come in and win their 10th game out of their last 12 against the New York Knicks. Now, for the Knicks, they were 12-2 in January, one of the best months in franchise history. In February, they get hit with the injury bug, and no such luck here in the second month of 2024. The team finishes February with a 4-8 record in the month. Definitely a stark contrast from January. And even with the trade deadline acquisitions of Bogdanovich and Burks, missing Randall and Anunoby when Robinson is still out is really, really tough. And you're seeing it affect the team on both ends of the court. Randall's All-NBA, All-Star production is missed on offense. Robinson and Anunoby's all-defense caliber, defense is missed on that end of the floor. And you have nights like tonight where Josh Hart has to take 17 shots, makes just 4 of them. Dante DiVincenzo, 6 of 21 against his former team, 2 of 12 from downtown. You have the Knicks getting carried by Jalen Brunson, who finished with 27, 5, and 5 on 11 for 25 shooting and 4 of 7 from deep. But other than that, it was tough. Josh Hart played 47 minutes and 10 seconds. Bojan Bogdanovich played 18 minutes. Alec Burks, 11 minutes. Thibodeau said postgame he wishes he played Burks more. So there's that. Deuce McBride, probably the most impressive bench player, easily the most impressive bench player for the Knicks tonight, with 14 points, 2 rebounds, an assist, and 3 steals on 6 of 8 shooting and 2 of 3 from deep. But the Warriors, just too much. Stephen Curry, 31 points. John Kuminga, 25 points. And listen, for Curry, he started the first half against Washington scoreless. Right, he was 0 of 7 against them, and tonight he had a double-double by halftime. So much different game for Steph Curry, and you get Kuminga's 25. You get the Knicks missing their first 9 shots, trailing by as much as 17 early, and it doesn't combine for a good outcome for New York, especially with the players they're missing, as we've discussed. In that regard, OG Anunoby did get an injury update today from New York Knicks head coach Tom Thibodeau, saying that he was cleared to begin individual basketball activities like dribbling, passing, and shooting, but nothing at all where he would face contact. Remember, that elbow injury ended up manifesting into elbow surgery, and Anunoby's absence has been a little more extended than people were expecting. So Randall and Anunoby, still waiting for them back, still waiting for Robinson as well. That's 3 starters, I'd assume, with Robinson presumably taking back his starting center spot from Hartenstein missing for the Knicks. So, definitely take it the February record with a grain of salt, the 4-8 record, but still something to watch as the Knicks look for combinations of lineups that work for them. It was the starting lineup that Thibodeau went to today, both in the first and second half to start each one, that had not a lot of spacing in favor of size. Achua and Hartenstein in the front court, and you got Hart out there as well. So 3 non-shooters in the lineup with Brunson and DiVincenzo makes it tough for them to get easy shots. That's why you see DiVincenzo taking 12 three-pointers and making just 2. But, when the Knicks players get back, players like Bogdanovich and Burks get relegated back into their natural roles of being floor spacers instead of needing to be creators for a team that desperately needs them right now. So for New York, it's Cleveland next up for them. We'll see how they handle that Eastern Conference challenge. I'm Chris Persianen signing off from Madison Square Garden, thanking you for staying tuned to our coverage here on WFUV Sports.
Taking you live from Newark, New Jersey, here at the Prudential Center for another installment of the Hudson River rivalry, one of the most prominent rivalries in the NHL, as the Rangers and the Devils face off here in New Jersey tonight. Both teams around a week ago, very interesting start to their last week. Both teams picking up wins in the Stadium Series at MetLife Stadium, and now both teams meeting here tonight in New Jersey for another very anticipated matchup. This game here tonight started off with a ton of energy and very tough from the beginning. A lot of animosity between these two teams. Definitely no love lost between these two hockey clubs. And in the beginning of the period, after a Ranger hit, Matt Rempe, New York Ranger, ends up getting involved in a fight and ends up receiving a 5-minute penalty, a 5-minute major. Not the way the Rangers wanted to start off this game, but they used it to their advantage. They kill the 5-minute penalty, end up using it for motivation and momentum, and end up having a fantastic first period. With 10 minutes and 46 seconds left in the first period, the Rangers go on the power play, and just 5 seconds after going on the power play, Minka Zibanejad cashes in for the New York Rangers, getting his first goal of the game and the first goal of the game from either team. It's 1-0 Rangers. And then a little bit later, toward the end of the period, with just around 2 minutes left, right off the face-off, directly off the face-off, Alexis Lafreniere scores for the Rangers, his first of 2 goals here tonight, once again proving his stuff and really putting the league on notice as he's been doing for the last month or two, and doubles the Ranger lead. It's now 2-0 Rangers going into the locker room for the first intermission.
A little while ago, right now. Oh, giveaway! Stop! Alexis Lafreniere on the 4-on-4, and the Rangers lead 2-0. Yeah,
A lot of the Rangers' success transferring over to the second period, as the period started with a massive open ice hit from Ranger captain Jacob Trouba, and definitely one of the more iconic and memorable moments of the night here in Newark. A little bit later in the period, Chris Kreider scores on the 2-on-1 breakaway after a beautiful hockey assist from goalie Igor Shesterkin, his first assist of the season. And just a little bit later in the period, the Rangers get their 4th goal, now quadrupling their lead 4-0, courtesy of Alexis Lafreniere, his 2nd goal of the game, and sent this Newark, New Jersey crowd into an absolute frenzy. Ranger fans everywhere, and it's 4-0 Rangers going into the 3rd period. Absolute domination, along with Igor Shesterkin absolutely dominating in between the pipes in goaltender, Igor Chance blaring through the Prudential Center from the Ranger fan faithful. Most of the 3rd and final period relatively uneventful here in New Jersey. A lot of fireworks early, and in the 3rd period, not a ton of action. Eventually, it's New York Ranger All-Star, just at the All-Star game a couple weeks ago, Vincent Trocheck firmly putting this game out of the reach of the Devils with a goal, giving the Rangers their 5th goal and a 5-0 lead over the Devils, and really putting the cherry on top of a wonderful Ranger performance. A little bit later, late in the 3rd period, Devils finally get on the scoreboard. It's Jack Hughes finally getting a goal for the New Jersey Devils after, up to that point, 35 saves from Igor Shesterkin, absolutely standing on his head in the net for the Rangers. But the Devils finally break through toward the end of the period and evaporate the shutout for Igor Shesterkin. Still a 5-1 lead for the Rangers. They end up coming out on top in the end when the final buzzer sounded. 5-1, a definitive victory for this Ranger team. Now they're 9th in a row. They are absolutely on fire, and you could see it here tonight how good this team is and how well they play, especially against high-level competition like the New Jersey Devils. New Jersey Devils ended the Ranger season in this very building last year in Game 7 of the first round. Jacob Trouba, captain of the New York Rangers, talked about if there's any added motivation in a matchup, not only a rivalry with the Devils, but after what transpired in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, I mean, they're rival. They're obviously a divisional game. I think it's always a little bit heightened. Yeah, there's the playoff history now of last year. Yeah, I think anytime Devils Islanders are always kind of a little more meaning. It's just playing in New York and playing in this area. That's how it's always been, and that's probably how it always will be.
Jacob, what did you make of the?
Head coach of the New Jersey Devils, Lindy Ruff, also spoke after the game, and here's what he said when asked about his final message toward his team after this defeat.
Well, we've spent a lot of time as a coaching staff. We've probably spent the majority of time talking about special teams and power play, and is there a better unit? And when we have two young defensemen that are anchoring, there's really not a replacement up top for us, and they've probably done a better than expected job for me, both those kids, and they're going to continue to grow. And there's a lot of stuff you like about their game. But I think with anybody, the young defenseman, there's going to be mistakes. There's going to be some poor decisions at times. But you have to just live with that, and you got to grow through it. We're going to meet as a staff again. We're going to talk about, is there something that we can do, or maybe switch one personnel around.
Rangers get their 9th win in a row here at Prudential Center, continuing their dominance over the Metropolitan Division. Devils fall to 28-24-3 on the year. They'll look to get back in action and back on the right foot at home against the Canadiens on Saturday afternoon. That one is at 2 o'clock. For WFUV Sports, I'm Chris Carrino. Ball, Lou. The three-point ball, the most important thing from this LaSalle team. Melius and Mass Antonio, kind of the usual suspects when it comes to their three-point shooting, but they got help in other places too. The likes of Tejada, the likes of Armandaris, helping them out in so many ways. It's been trial by committee so far for this LaSalle team from behind the line. That three-point shooting, the reason why they're in this game where they are right now.
11 points apiece from Tiara Bolden and Nicole Melius. Nicole Melius, that freshman that we were talking about a little bit earlier, maybe got overshadowed by the coach's sound that was playing over our audio, but Nicole Melius, an absolute legend in New York, over 3,000 points in her high school career, and she's come out shooting to start her freshman career here at LaSalle, and she made her shots in the first half along with Emily Tejada returning from injury, and it's been a big boost for the Explorers.
Yeah, and Melius, along with all those points, over 400 threes made in high school as well. She has taken and made a lot of threes in her life, and you can tell the composure of people like Melius and people like Mass Antonio. They're not getting overshadowed by the moment, not letting the moment get bigger than they are, and they seem to have a crazy composure when shooting it from behind the line. They are very, very, very dialed in would kind of be the word, but also just in general, they're playing a good brand of basketball, playing as a team, as a collective, finding the open shot, finding their spots. That's the big thing I always talk about on the offensive end, finding your spots and making them. And this LaSalle offense coming with a level of consistency that's really making them play well right now.
And Mountain McGilvery, their head coach of LaSalle, has been fairly open about how difficult this stretch has been. He said the team's in good spirits, but he said it stinks to lose like this, to get blown out. 5 straight 20-point losses, getting outscored by 161 points on this 8-game losing streak. And he's still trying to get them to implement the system that he wants to run, but I think the most important thing that he said is that this team's still in good spirits and they're still out there trying, and you see that in the first half. Maybe a little incentive to upset Fordham on senior day in front of their home fans, whatever it might be. LaSalle has come out ready to go.
And it's glaringly different than any other game in this losing streak for LaSalle. The pace of scoring, they're scoring at 41 points in the first half. You can tell this afternoon may be different for the Explorers.
It's LaSalle ball to start the second half. They lead 41-30. Mass Antonio pressured by Hayford as she picks up her dribble. Bounces to the free throw line. Miller kicks corner. Bolden fakes, drives, now kicks Miller left wing. Up top, Armendariz wide open for 3 and air balls.
Good first possession there for Fordham. LaSalle still kind of got a good 3 out of it, but nothing, no net, no rim, nothing on that shot. And Fordham needs to start scoring on the offensive end.
McGurk left arc. Just 30 seconds into our second half. Donaldson bounces short corner, Flood. Cross corner for Amy Hayford on the far side. Sends it back out up top for McGurk. Hayford gets it back with 10 on the shot clock. Wheels down to the block, picks up her dribble, kicks out Flood. Up top McGurk, 5 on the shot clock, swings right Donaldson. Drives, fades away, the short corner, 2 is short. And the rebound secured with some trouble. Now Donaldson swinging in there, rips it away from Malias and forces another jump ball. Jump ball and Taylor Donaldson have been 2 words that are synonymous today.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, from a Fordham standpoint, as a collective, ravishly trying to get to that offensive board. I think this Fordham team really prioritizing second chance opportunities in the second half.
Flood off the baseline, inbound left elbow, hands off Hayford, wheels down to the block, floater is good, and Fordham cuts the lead to single digits.
Once again, Hayford in the lane using her footwork to get to the bucket.
Mass Antonio up top, 41-32, LaSalle leads. Back up top for Armendariz, swings left Malias. Miller right wing, far corner, the 3 from Mass Antonio, nothing but net. And LaSalle able to answer the lead up to 12.
Some more of the same, Lou, from the first half.
Much too much space for Mass Antonio on that shot. Flood down low, feeds Lee in the paint, can't finish on the initial attempt. Ball is loose, now secured by Bolden. LaSalle works the other way. Miller drives by Flood, now on to McGurk, can't finish the open layup. A little bit short. McGurk straight on. Slows things down, now dribbles right, feeds Donaldson on the right wing. Wheels around the arc, drives the left lane. The 2 off backboard is not good. Mass Antonio rebound, 8 to go in the third. LaSalle up by 12. Bolden takes the left wing 3, that misses the rim to the left. Lead the rebound off the backboard. It's Donaldson taking it ahead. Donaldson left elbow extended, gives the handoff for Hayford. Hayford wheels around now into the paint, up with the left hand, it's in. Amy Hayford cuts the lead to 10, 44-34.
We've talked about it, Lou. An absolute artist getting to the rim, and that play to get to the rim using her footwork and a pretty dribble move.
Amy Hayford just 2 points in that first half. She gets 2 here. Bolden on the far side. Armendariz up top. 7:15 to go in the third quarter. LaSalle leads by 10. Mass Antonio right elbow. Fakes. And now wheels out beyond the arc. The deep 3 from Elias with 4 on the shot clock. It rolls out. Lee the rebound.
Usually you'd say she has no business taking that, but she absolutely does.
McGurk speeds ahead in transition. Blocked by Miller. Kept in by Malias. Ahead to Bolden. Fordham will pressure. Miller spins off McGurk and now sends McGurk flying with an elbow. And that will be an offensive foul on Michaela Miller.
I believe that's a foul on Mandy McGurk, actually.
Mandy McGurk called for the foul, did not get her feet set. The contact sent her flying.
You've shown your thoughts about the play.
I guess maybe I'm a little biased. I have to check myself there. So LaSalle ball, 6:50 to go in the third. Leading by 10, Rose Nelson and Miranda Nyborg check in with Taya Davis. Lee, Flood, McGurk to the bench. Bolden up top, swings left to Hada, open for 3. That one bounces out, but the rebound swatted and kept here for the moment by LaSalle. It was loose. Donaldson turns it over. Malias wide open for 3. It's good. Fordham unable to control the rebound. Malias gets a second chance look and buries it.
From having the ball to then turning it over and giving up a 3. Terrible swing for the Rams.
14 points for Nicole Malias. LaSalle leads by 13. 6:15 to go. Hayford sends it left block for Miranda Nyborg. Decked from behind by Emily Tejada. They'll say Tiara Bolden with the foul. That foul will just be on the floor.
Fordham needs to start getting some field goals to go here. Really haven't had an abundance of field goals, not only in this quarter, but the last quarter.
Davis to Donaldson, deep left wing. Hands off for Davis. 15 on the shot clock, 6:05 in the third. Davis dribble drive, uses the Nelson screen straight on. Down to the right block, feeds Nyborg in the post, fumbles with the ball, works back out, 5 on the shot clock. The 3 from Hayford is good. Fordham able to answer and cut the lead to 10.
Big 3, got all the way out to 13. This LaSalle lead, cutting it to 10. Definitely what the Rams needed to do.
Mass Antonio with 5:40 to go in the third. 47-37 the LaSalle lead. Melias right wing, straight on Armandaris into the paint for Bolden. Feeds short corner, back out Melias right wing, answers with a 3 of her own. Back-to-back threes from Nicole Melias.
I just don't know how many threes Melias needs to make until you really start paying a lot of attention to her on the perimeter. Not a ton of attention, still not paid to her.
Hayford will take the left wing 3, it's too strong. Mass Antonio up the other way. 50-37, Bolden takes the left wing 3, and that one off right iron. The offensive rebound by Armandaris goes back up, can't make the shot, but draws the foul from Rose Nelson.
Another late whistle from this group of referees. Rose Nelson didn't really like the foul called on her. Fordham needs to somehow build some momentum here, whether that's through defensive stops and scores on the other end. Somehow, just seems like they're really flat right now.
Armandaris will go to the line, looking to extend on LaSalle's 13-point lead. 5:02 left in the third, and Fordham has still been unable to turn the tide here on Senior Day. The first free throw from Armandaris bounces out. Crowd cheers on the second. Armandaris buries that one. A 51-37 lead for LaSalle. Armandaris will come out. Michaela Miller back in.
14-point lead right now for LaSalle. The lead continues to grow. Might get out of hand for this Fordham team. They need to steer the ship quick.
Down low to Nyborg. Finishes the feed on the right block. The assist from Hayford. 51-39. LaSalle ahead. Clock ticks under 5 minutes on our third quarter. Tejada free throw line. Kicks far corner Melias. Feeds Tejada. Back out Bolden. Left wing 3. That one's good. Another 3 from LaSalle. They continue to bury from deep. 54-39 the lead.
LaSalle continuing to find new and creative ways to get open from the three-point line. Really impressive stuff.
Donaldson, the short 2, rolls in on the right side of the rim. Fordham able to answer, but the lead still at double digits for LaSalle. Straight on, wide open for Bolden. That one misses the rim entirely. Nelson will battle for the rebound with Gabby Turco. It will be LaSalle ball when we come back from break as head coach Bridgette Mitchell calls a timeout with 4:09 to go. And Chris, Fordham trailing by 13. Still a lot of the struggles we saw in the first half bleeding into the second.
Yeah, kind of at a turning point now to see if it goes either way. It can go one of two ways this game. Either LaSalle continues to open up this lead even more and it gets out of hand for this Fordham team and they just can't, they won't be able to battle back with that much of a lead. But also on the other side, if they can get a quick 6 points here, even a quick 4 points here, that can change the dynamic of this game. So major point now in this matchup and kind of the turning point of the game to me.
Fordham trying to battle back against LaSalle, the A-10 women's basketball regular season finale. And you're listening to Fordham women's basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, my name is Ryan Rucco, WFUV class of 2008. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One-on-One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV Sports.
Back with you from Rose Hill. The threes are coming in bunches as one of our fans just hit a half-court shot, was not able to make the second one. It's Lou Orlando alongside Chris Carrino, senior day on Rose Hill, and our regular season finale in the A10. Fordham trails 54-41 to LaSalle. LaSalle 12 of 27 from beyond the arc. Just one three-pointer shy of their season-high 13, which they had a few games ago versus Richmond. They are hitting at an unparalleled rate.
I was going to say, Lou, I think Coach Brissette Mitchell wanted to add that half quarter to the Fordham point total, but she was not allowed. But nonetheless,
we should ask the league about that. I think we can inquire about that.
Yeah, like the luck of the half court shooter in that timeout. LaSalle has been absolutely on fire. This is a team that does shoot a lot of the three ball, but not as efficiently as they are this afternoon, really taking it to this Fordham defense. And as I said before, finding new and creative ways every possession of getting open threes. Doesn't matter who it is either, whether it's Bolden or Melius or Armandaris or Mas Antonio. All of them are hitting threes right now, and they have been extremely dangerous all afternoon.
Melius up to 17 points. Her career high is 22 in her freshman campaign. Before Melius can inbound, we have a foul off ball, Taya Davis. It'll be the third team foul for Fordham in this quarter, 4:09 to go. Melius feeds Michaela Miller on the far side. Mas Antonio set to check in next stoppage. Miller steps up, drives down underneath the basket, kicks out to Hada, wide open, straight on, it's good, again! LaSalle ties a season-high 13 three-pointers made and extend the lead to 16.
Another possession, Lou, another creative way of getting an open three for this LaSalle team.
Head coach Brissette Mitchell not happy, you can tell by her expression. Court side. Taya Davis left arc, given space by Melius. Nyborg cross court for Amy Hayford, and the feed too high, a turnover and LaSalle ball.
Yeah, LaSalle going to get another opportunity here on the offensive end. They can, with a few more possessions of good defense and good offense, put this game away. Fordham really needs to wake up.
Everything going wrong for Fordham right now. Nelson comes up with Davis to pressure Mas Antonio. It's Tejada up top, gives it back to Mas Antonio, straight on, drives inside, cuts through two defenders. The reverse lay won't go. And the ball bouncing on the ground will hit off the shoe of Tejada and out of bounds.
Fordham needs to compound some momentum here with a basket. Field goals have been few and far between so far this afternoon for the Rams. Need to get some sort of flow going in this offense.
Nelson left wing, gives for Hayford right there. Straight on Davis. Lob down low for Nyborg, left block, double team, throws up a wild shot on the block and misses well short. Mas Antonio feeds Miller, now short corner Turco, back to the free throw line Tejada. Kicks out Melius, guarded by Davis. Dribbles left down around the short corner, stops on the block, fades away, it's short and Davis the rebound. Davis speeding ahead, 2:42, Fordham trailing by 16. Davis, Euro step, finishes on the right block, a pretty move.
The nice dribbling moves to the basket with the awareness of still knowing where you are under the basket. Really great stuff from Taya Davis.
9 points for her today. Tejada open straight away. Her pass is intercepted. Donaldson feeds Nelson. Nelson started to slow down. And Donaldson's pass sails out of bounds. A miscommunication there. What was a chance for him to get points in transition.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be a great chance to build some momentum here. Another turnover leading to a score. Unfortunate, got thrown out of bounds. This team, this Fordham team, down 14 right now. They would love to get this deficit down to 10 or around 10 by the end of the quarter with 2:16 to go in the third.
They trail by 14. It's Armandaris crossing the timeline. Hands off Mas Antonio. Dribbles left. Swings Bolden left wing. Has some space and buries it. 14 three-pointers made. A new season high for LaSalle. And the lead 60-43. Davis dribble drive. Feeds inside for Harris. Can't handle it. It's stolen by Bolden. Bolden running. Drives by Flood. Stops on the block. Kicks out Mas Antonio. Swings back right. Bolden open on the right wing. It's good again. 3 straight threes for LaSalle. They continue to extend the lead now 20 points.
Tiara Bolden playing the role of human torch for this LaSalle team, as a few of her teammates have played this afternoon so far. She is as hot as you can be.
Donaldson to answer from the right wing, nothing but net. A 3 of her own for Taylor Donaldson, and that will cut it to 17. A minute 15 to go. Donaldson pokes the ball away from Bolden. Goes out of bounds. Donaldson hits the ground hard and wants an offensive foul called. It'll be a sidelines inbound for LaSalle. A minute 16 to go. Massantonio straight on. Stands on the horns of the Fordham logo. A minute 7 and ticking. Massantonio deliberate. Tejada feeds it into the paint for Armendariz. Gets a bump from Donaldson. That will be a foul. Now just one foul shy of the bonus is LaSalle with a minute 3 to go.
And that's when those fouls we've been talking about all game really start to add up and hurt your team as well in a major way.
Massantonio right arc. Guarded by Donaldson, 55 seconds, 10 on the shot clock. Armendariz right wing. Guarded tightly by Hayford. Feeds it left for Bolden and sends it at her feet. Bolden can't handle it. Fordham the turnover, and their ball with 47 seconds left.
Bring us back to a stretch earlier. Bolden hitting a 3 on the left wing, getting a steal, and then hitting a 3 on the right wing. One of the best stretches any single player has had in this game so far. She has been fantastic.
43 seconds, 25 on the shot clock. 2-for-1 chance that they move quickly, but McGurk handling things slowly. Donaldson straight on 3. It's good! Back-to-back threes from Donaldson. 63-49 the LaSalle lead.
That is such a big shot from Donaldson.
LaSalle breaks the press. Shot clock is off. 23 seconds left. Tejada near corner. Drives baseline. Feeds. Inside. Kicks out. Massantonio wide open. It's good! LaSalle answers once more. 66-49 their lead. 11 seconds and ticking. Flood, left arc, out to Donaldson, straight on, the step back 3, too strong. Gets the offensive rebound, chucks the floater up off, backboard and in. Fordham gets points at the buzzer and chops 2 points off the LaSalle lead going into the fourth quarter. But despite some offense at the end there for Fordham, still trailing by 15, 66-51. LaSalle hit 5 threes in that third quarter, and our live stats aren't completely up to date. That number might go up, but 66-51 the lead, and an absolute bowling out moment right now for LaSalle.
5 threes in that quarter, Lou, over double the amount of threes that Fordham made against St. Joe's on Wednesday. This LaSalle team really proving themselves right now. If you didn't know the background on either of these teams, you would think they are the team coming into this gym on a 6-game win streak right now. That last play, that Massantonio 3, I didn't even look at it go in. I just saw an open jersey, an open yellow jersey on the three-point line. Just assumed 3 points were going to get added to the LaSalle total. And from the Fordham perspective, really hopeless position they're in right now.
Live stats just updated. It was 8 3-pointers made by LaSalle in that third quarter. 20 by Tiara Bolden, 20 points. 17 for Melias. Massantonio with 9 on 9 threes, 12 for Tejada. It's been an absolute showing by this LaSalle offense.
And Lou, if Fordham's made 8 threes in a game, that would be a high marker and something to be happy about. That's 8 threes in a quarter. Not sure if any team in the A-10 this year in a quarter has had that many threes. This LaSalle team continues to put it on this Fordham team. Fordham needs to limit those 3-pointers on the defensive end and use some of that defensive prowess to translate into more offense overall on both sides of the ball. Just more invigoration for this Fordham team should be really important.
Fordham trails by 15 as they look to salvage this senior day going into the final quarter. You're listening to Fordham Women's Basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Michael Kay, WFUV class of 1982. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One on One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV Sports.
get open on the three-point line, and now it almost seems like players like Bolden, players like Massantonio are very open in the exact same spots on multiple possessions, specifically in that third quarter. Fordham really needs to prioritize that three-point line. I think without the three-point line, LaSalle might not even be in a lead right now, and that's saying something with a 15-point lead on the scoreboard right now. And just in general, more efficiency on the offensive end for Fordham as well. A lot of those things would do them very well in this fourth quarter.
Hayford splits two defenders, kicks out Flood. Far corner three, it rolls out. McGurk the rebound. Feeds Flood in the paint. Tries to go up with it, can't finish, but draws the foul. That was Armendariz down low.
Good job by Fordham and Manny McGurk there getting the offensive rebound. I'm sure Fordham's second chances will be one of the most important things in this fourth quarter.
LaSalle has outscored Fordham in every quarter so far. Fordham's going to need to outscore them by 15 to get back into this one. Flood sinks the first free throw. 66-52, the LaSalle lead. The second from Flood, nothing but net. Matilda Flood, 6 points in her final game at Rose Hill. Miller takes it up, sends it across for Bolden. Bolden left wing. Back for Miller. Miller steps behind the arc, 9:30 to go in the fourth quarter. Miller trapped by Flood and Donaldson, gets it out to Melias. Back to Miller straight on. Miller gets Flood behind her. The floater in the paint banks it in.
That's so smart and composed from Miller there in the lane.
Fordham gets overzealous with that trap. Flood gets caught behind her. 68-53, the LaSalle lead. McGurk drives right. Bass Bolden feeds Flood in the paint, off the glass and in. 4 straight points for Matilda Flood. Bolden crosses the timeline, 68-55. The LaSalle lead with 8:55 to go. Bolden left wing, the corner feed for Massantonio a bit high. Fordham again trapping up top. Massantonio open in that corner, but a bad feed from Bolden.
And this is what I was just saying, heading into this fourth quarter, this Fordham team needs to play good ball defensively, need to let that help them into the offensive end of the court, and the efficiency on the offensive end definitely improving in this fourth quarter.
The feed to Kayla Harris is tipped by Armendariz and stolen by Melias.
Spoke too soon.
Yep. And now Massantonio driving down the far side, fouled by Taylor Donaldson. Donaldson's second of the game. McGurk comes out, Taya Davis comes in. 8:38 to go in our fourth quarter, 68-55 the LaSalle lead. Armendariz right wing. Swings left for Massantonio, back to Armendariz straight on, hands off Massantonio. Swings right for Melias, Hayford comes out tight on her. Armendariz free throw line, kicks right wing Bolden. Bolden drives by Kayla Harris, reverse layup, can't finish. Bolden blew by her, but went for the reverse lay and couldn't get home. Harris fakes and drives. It's back up top, Donaldson straight on three, bounces out. Melias the rebound. Facing pressure from Kayla Harris, gets it ahead to Miller past the half court line. Miller will get it back, 7:58 to go in the fourth. Miller steps up, thinks about the three, but continues to dribble. 15 on the shot clock. Armendariz top of the key, swings left Massantonio. Far corner, Bolden the three, it's good! Bolden again left wide open, 23 points.
You think in the man defense they're doing a little better with the three-point shooting, but then Kayla Harris in the middle of the paint as Taylor Donaldson gets that one to go.
Donaldson the answer from three, wide open. So Fordham still trails by 13.
But it seems in the man defense that Fordham's in right now, they're doing a good job with the three-point line, and then Kayla Harris just gets stuck right in the middle of the paint, and there's someone open on the three-point line once again.
Melias right side, Fordham coming out to meet her. Drives around Flood. Takes out Massantonio left wing. Melias gets it back, left corner three, that one's strong. Michaela Miller fighting for the rebound and draws the foul from Taya Davis. Miller got flipped down low.
I don't believe how that's on Fordham and not on LaSalle.
I think what you're calling for is perhaps an over the back, as Michaela Miller trying to jump over Taya Davis there.
It seems that Taya Davis just stood there and got jumped on and then got called for a foul. Ooh, Massantonio with the forearm on Taylor Donaldson getting open on the inbound as well.
Maybe a couple fouls going uncalled. Massantonio, the strong drive, but can't finish. Davis up top. Feeds Donaldson, right wing three, nothing but net, and she's feeling it right now.
Big shot for Taylor Donaldson, cutting this lead to 10. Still a lot of time on that clock, 6:40 to go in this game.
Nothing but net, Donaldson knew it. Malias the answer, and nothing but net on that side. That will force the timeout from Bridgette Miller.
It seems like when the Staten Island native Nicole Malias is even able to get her shot off on the three-point line, it's going in, and nothing but net as well.
20 points for Nicole Malias, 23 for Tiara Bolden. Tiara Bolden has stormed well past her career high in points. She had 14 versus UVA on December 3rd, 23 today. This is her first year of D1 basketball. Transferred over after a year at Arizona State where she played community college ball. But Fordham, despite some of the big shots that feel like they've gotten them back into this game, Donaldson hits the deep right wing three and knows it right away. And then you let Malias go right back down the other way in an open three. It just feels like Fordham hasn't gotten the stops that Mitchell has been so proud of in these last few games.
Yeah, it's a momentum and it's a confidence killer, that three heading into the timeout. Taylor Donaldson's three to cut it to 10 seemed like maybe the most belonging Fordham had felt in this game in a long time. And then immediately Malias hitting a shot when they needed it, as she has been doing all game long. And that three not only killing all momentum for this Fordham team, but maybe knocking some of the wind out of their sails as well. But if I'm talking in context of Fordham getting back in this game for the rest of this 6:38 to go, I think it's a lot of what they were just doing. It's a lot of pressure defensively, staying on your man, taking pride in the man that you're defending, making sure no threes get off, and then using that to translate on the offensive end, whether that's through transitional play off turnovers or that's just momentum on the offensive end, efficiency on the offensive end, and just staying really disciplined along with aggression on the defensive end. Those will be the keys going back and forth for this Fordham team.
I think defense has been the major key for Fordham on this run. Obviously, they've seen an uptick in offensive production on this 6-game winning streak, but it starts with the defense, and that's one of the first things that Mitchell wants to talk about, is how much better the defense has gotten at forcing stops and stuff like that. They haven't forced a lot of stops today. They've continued to leave LaSalle shooters open, and they've paid the price for it.
Yeah, Coach Bridgette Mitchell, when asked not only about this stretch over 7 games, but the whole season, what she has loved in improvement from this team, it's the defense. It's taking pride in their defense. Need to see more of that right now. As we saw on the offensive end for Fordham, when a shot was missed, they were ferocious on the offensive end, on the offensive glass, trying to get a second chance. I want to see some of that ferocity coming on the defensive end as well.
Taylor Donaldson quietly at 21 points right now. Maybe not so quietly because she's been burying threes left and right. But this balanced offensive attack for Fordham has not been as balanced as we've usually seen it in the first half or in past games. And maybe that has a lot to do with Fordham needs the free ball to get back in this game, and Taylor Donaldson has the hot hand.
And it's not that LaSalle's been a juggernaut either. When you look at Bolden and Malias, they have over half of their team's points with just the two of them together. So kind of neutralizing who you need to neutralize and not necessarily making it bigger than it has to be. That's going to be big for this Fordham team as well.
Hayford goes cross corner from McGurk, nothing but net. Fordham gets another three, and that's helped keep them in this ball game.
Another big lead, another big three, getting it to 10, another momentum shifter for this Fordham team.
74-64, LaSalle ahead. Massantonio kicks corner for Tejada, back up to Armendariz. Left for Miller at the Fordham logo. LaSalle will slow things down with 6:08 to go. Down to 10 on the shot clock. Miller uses the Armendariz screen. She's doubled. Feeds the paint for Tejada. Hayford gets in the way, and it goes off the fingertips of Tejada and out of bounds.
Yeah, this LaSalle team in no rush on the offensive end, and it might hurt them as well. They have been playing with a faster pace than they normally do throughout this whole game today on these offensive possessions, finding the best shot. Now slowing it down with a lead may kind of get in your head a bit if you're a LaSalle player.
6 minutes to go here in our fourth quarter. Fordham trails by 10. Donaldson, right wing three again! Donaldson is red hot from beyond the arc, and Fordham's back within single digits.
And Taylor Donaldson's friends and family on their feet dancing behind the bench, and this Fordham crowd invigorated once again.
24 points for Donaldson. Malias at the free throw line, curls back out. Lobs for Bolden. Flood slaps it away. Bolden crosses the half-court line, but Matilda Flood called for the foul.
gave her a bit of a look after the play as well, a bit of a nasty side eye to Matilda Flood, almost saying to her, "You really thought that wasn't a foul?"
This Fordham crowd is alive, and they are booing our officials. That is just the second foul for Fordham in this quarter. It'll be the near sideline inbounds. 5:29 to go in the fourth. Fordham in striking distance, down 7. Coach Mitchell out to nearly half court, clapping ferociously for her team to step up defensively. Massantonio double teamed by Hayford, and Donaldson gets it to Bolden at top. Has it knocked away by Flood. Here, Hayford the steal. Hayford drives the right lane. Euro step up with the left. No good, but the foul.
And and one there may have brought Rose Hill up for grabs here, but fantastic play from the Fordham Rams. You can feel a new sense of energy. They've been reinvigorated by not only this crowd, but their play, and that starts on the defensive end. As I said before, defense taking pride in that defense, letting it translate over to the offensive end, as we just saw on that transitional play by Amy Hayford. This Fordham team, a lot of momentum right now, cannot squander it, continue to have to defend that three-point line well on the defensive end. This LaSalle team doesn't seem to be able to gain much momentum without those three balls falling right now.
Hayford's first free throw rolls in. I think he made a good point about the crowd. There's been an energy shift on the court, but in the crowd as well. 2-for-2 trick for Hayford. Fordham back within 5, 74-69. 5:07 to go. Chris, we might have another thriller on our hands.
Yeah, seems like it.
Miller in front of the timeline. Swings left, Massantonio. It's been a 6-0 run for the Fordham Rams. Miller, far corner, drives on Flood. Can't finish. Flood calling for the foul. The crowd doesn't like it once again, but Miller has earned herself a trip to the line.
And I've never thought a foul on the defensive end is a problem if it's a byproduct of how hard you are playing. Matilda Flood playing extremely hard on her assignment, on her offensive assignment there, and it leads to the foul. Nothing I would really ever have a problem with.
Well, Fordham has stormed back in this game. They started this quarter down 15. They now trail by 5 with 4:52 to go. We're at our fourth quarter media timeout. Chris, I think let's take a break and come back for an exciting last 5 minutes of basketball. It's Fordham women's basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, my name is Ryan Rucco, WFUV class of 2008. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One-on-One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV Sports.
What's going on, guys? Bridge Gotham here, your New York Giants beat reporter for WFUV Sports. Be on the lookout for weekly reports and game recaps on WFUV's YouTube channel. We'll be covering the action all season long. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at BGBridge.
Parts of this game just couldn't quite get the momentum to come, but now it's came, and this momentum seemingly powering this Fordham team on the offensive and defensive end, and also a man defense switched into by a move made by Coach Brissette Mitchell on the defensive end for her Rams. Seems like it's limiting it seems like it's limiting the three-point shooting of this LaSalle team, which was maybe one of the biggest reasons they were dominating so much in the middle parts of this game. Seems like that man defense maybe been the entire difference of this game in the fourth quarter.
Miller's first free throw rolls in, the LaSalle lead up to 6. Fordham, no matter the outcome of this game, will earn a first-round bye in the A-10 tournament. But with a win and a Loyola Chicago loss, they can get up to the 7 seed. Miller's second free throw good. LaSalle lead back up to 7. 4:50 to go in the fourth. McGurk will take it up, straight on Hayford. Back to McGurk, left wing. Swarmed by 2 defenders, goes far corner for Donaldson. Donaldson tripped up and falls out of bounds. The foul called on LaSalle. That'll be the 3rd team foul for LaSalle in this quarter.
Yeah, they got to get a little more conservative on the defensive end here, LaSalle. Some of the fouls starting to pile up. Bolden with 3, along with Tejada. 2 players very integral to this LaSalle team.
Davis baseline. McGurk far corner. Drives into the paint. Kicks out for Donaldson. It's intercepted by Miller. McGurk up to pressure. 4:30 to go. They cross the timeline with a pass to back up top, Miller. Miller at the horns of the Fordham logo. Swings it far corner for Bolden. Drives the baseline. Taylor Donaldson called for the reach-in foul on the floor. But that will take LaSalle into the bonus, so they'll get free throws. It's 2 shots. And for Taylor Donaldson, her 3rd foul.
I think Taylor Donaldson, a bit of shock and frantic confusion as she moved over to the corner. Once again, seeing Tiara Bolden wide open from behind the three-point line as she makes the first, but closed out on her well, made her drive instead, and obviously never like a nickel-dimer foul going to the lane, but also preventing the layup. Another good job. Overall, good job on the defensive end from Taylor Donaldson.
Bolden, a 2-for-2 trip. 78-69, the LaSalle lead. 4:15 to go. Bolden up to 25 points, a career high, and 20 from Melias as well. The lob down low for Flood, kicks out McGurk, wide open, left wing 3, she buries it. McGurk gets the lead back down to 6 with 4 minutes to play.
Coach Bridgette Mitchell frantically telling her team to push up.
Bolden will cross the half-court line. Now it's Miller at the logo. Into the paint, Bolden. Kicks out Melias, right wing 3, yes! Nicole Melias, 23 points, that's a career high for the freshman. And back out to 9 is the LaSalle lead. Donaldson, near corner. Cross-court pass, Hayford swings to the corner, McGurk, the 3. That one rolls out. Fighting for the rebound is Matilda Flood. Which way is it going to go? It's Fordham ball.
That is a fantastic play from Matilda Flood going out of bounds. We see it a lot. Players hitting it off the opposing team to get out of bounds, but that play, almost no room to get that done. And another opportunity on the offensive end for the Rams.
We'll have timeouts before this baseline inbound by Fordham. Fordham trails by 9, but with the ball, 3:29 left in this game. It's been a high-scoring game, 81 points for LaSalle. This is a LaSalle team that was held to 29 by St. Joseph's a few weeks ago. LaSalle, in their home turf, beat Fordham earlier in the year. That was when Fordham was struggling a bit more, but Fordham riding a 6-game winning streak. They trail by 9, but still a chance to get in this thanks in large part to their 3-point shooting here in the second half.
Yeah, Fordham's struggles in the beginning of the season honestly started with LaSalle. It started the biggest losing streak of the season for Fordham, their game at LaSalle. But as I said at the open of this game, and as I've said throughout this game, this is a different Fordham team that played in the beginning of the year. But also, with that said, a different LaSalle team as well. Both teams in tip-top shape, and it seems like both of them now are playing their best ball of the afternoon.
Flood far corner, a wheeling Donaldson left wing. She drives, goes up, it's blocked. Donaldson slow to get up. Miller will push it ahead. Now McGurk knocked down as well. 5-on-3 for LaSalle, and both Donaldson and McGurk get back. 3:13 to go. Fordham trails by 9. Near corner, Massantonio. 15 on the shot clock, 3:08 on the game. Up top to Miller. 10 on the shot clock. Miller drives on Flood, stops, kicks out. Melias, right wing 3, yes! 26 points for Nicole Melias. and the lead back up to double digits with less than 3 minutes to go.
The queen of scoring in New York City showing why she has the crown.
Over 3,000 career points in high school. That's a New York City record, 4th in New York State. Donaldson to answer from the left wing. It's strong. McGurk's offensive rebound has it slapped out of her hands by Tejada. A foul called, I think, going against LaSalle.
I honestly think components like location and how heavily you're guarded almost don't matter right now when talking about Nicole Malias. It seems like if she can just get her shot off, it's going in. And not janking around the rim, it's going in, nothing but net, as pure as it possibly can.
Hard to find prettier shooting than we've seen in today's game. Malias 8 of 10 from beyond the arc. Fordham in the bonus. McGurk's first free throw rolls out with 2:38 and trailing by 12, looking more and more like an upset on senior day. McGurk's second she buries. Fordham trails by 11, 2:38 to go. Full court press in full effect. It's Bolden, breaks it ahead to Tejada. Shovels back from Massantonio. Clock ticks under 2:30. Massantonio delays at the logo. Flood tries to poke the ball away, but gets right in the grill of Massantonio, gives her a bump, and that's a foul.
I just want to talk one more time about Nicole Malia. She has 27 points now, or 26 rather points now for this LaSalle team. We talked about her a bunch. Obviously, all the points and three-pointers made in high school, all the recruiting that she received, and she trusted and respected this coaching staff a ton here at LaSalle, decided to make the decision to commit to this LaSalle school. And for a team who's had a pretty troubling regular season, she has stayed in, she has stayed a part of the program, bought into the program, and you can see how great of a player she is today. You can see her family behind the bench as well. Overall, fantastic afternoon for Nicole Malias.
Massantonio 2 of 2 from the line. The LaSalle lead up to 13. Hayford left wing, back up top Davis. 2:11 to go. Davis drives inside, feeds Flood underneath. Well short as she hits the bottom of the backboard but draws the foul and going back to the line.
Once again, Matilda Flood going to the line. It's not by accident. It's because she is constantly putting herself a part of the action, constantly trying to get her team second chance opportunities on this offensive side of the ball, and always just kind of finds herself in the middle of all the action.
It's the second foul for Michaela Miller. Flood buries the first one. Tiara Bolden, 4 fouls, so on foul watch here with 2:08 left to go. Fordham trails by 12, 2:08 to go in the fourth. Second from Flood, nothing but net. So lead back down to 11. 10 points today for Matilda Flood. Bolden's pass tipped and intercepted by Amy Hayford. Fordham trailing by 11, a minute 55 to go. Hayford rushes ahead, up with the right hand. It rolls out but draws the foul. Nearly an N1 there, Chris, but she'll still get 2 from the line.
Another near N1 opportunity for Amy Hayford that would have set this crowd on fire. Nonetheless, very good play to get down court as fast as she did and get the bucket, or not the bucket, but at least the foul, to go to the line and hopefully get the bucket.
And the key here for Fordham is you just got to move quickly, right?
Yeah.
You know that you're down by 10 plus. Hayford buries it to cut the lead to 10.
Negating the plus.
Hey, well, I was accounting for either outcome. The second from Hayford. Rolls out. Flood secures the offensive rebound. Getting right in there is Tejada. It's a jump ball and possession LaSalle. 86-76. Fordham trails by 10. A minute 52 left in the fourth.
Matilda Flood once again almost giving her team another chance.
Armendariz finds Massantonio far side. Weaves middle, bounces across to Armendariz. Outlet pass, right wing for Tejada. Off her fingertips, stolen by Donaldson. Donaldson to McGurk. Far corner, short 2, nothing but net. Fordham down by 8, a minute 35 and ticking.
Nice press from this Fordham team, frantically frustrating this LaSalle offense.
McGurk gets hands on Massantonio's ball and forces a jump ball.
No, they didn't. They got the timeout off.
One ref on the far side signaled jump ball, but they'll say Mountain McGilvery got the timeout in time. Fordham's press swarming LaSalle along the Fordham bench. LaSalle calls the timeout. It will stay possession with them. And even 90 seconds left to go in this ball game. down 8, so not a ton of time, but Fordham's still a fighting chance.
Yeah, I would kind of have to filter myself, but another time in this game where the referees just aren't on the same page, really creating a lot of confusion on the court for both of these teams. If that was a jump ball call in favor of the Rams with the arrow pointing toward the Rams, what a momentum shifter, or what a momentum adder that would have been, compounding on the momentum they already had. But now they're in a position where they have to go play defense against this LaSalle team. Obviously, no threes. That is the number one priority. But more than that, overall, it's taking a pride in the defense, as I've been saying all afternoon. But more than that, it's making sure not only they don't get the good opportunities, but they can't get to their spots and get easy and efficient shots.
Fordham's forced a couple turnovers on this stretch, but a 3 at this stage of the game, 90 seconds to go, would be an absolute backbreaker. Tiara Bolden, 27 points, 4 of 8 from deep. Nicole Malias, 26 points, 8 of 10 from beyond the arc. So a couple people to watch out for.
And with that said, a Fordham 3 as well makes this 5. Dynamics of this game very temporary, seemingly.
Sideline inbound in front of the Fordham bench. LaSalle needs to get into their offensive half set. It's a 5-second call. Are they going to call a foul or a violation on Bridgette Mitchell?
It's a Fordham violation. I'm not sure who it's on.
A Fordham violation. I think they're saying that Bridgette Mitchell was either on the line or that Matilda Flood was too close to the sideline. Either way, we'll do it again.
And made sure to make it as theatric as possible as well.
Gets it into Tejada, crosses the timeline. Flood wrestling for the ball, called for the foul. Flood going to force the jump ball with the possession arrow, pointing the way of Fordham.
Yeah, Taya Davis really upset, then realizing she's next to 2 referees, realizing she might need to relax just a little bit. This Fordham team obviously growing very frustrated right now.
The 4th foul for Matilda Flood. She has 10 points today in her final game at Rose Hill. No one rebounding on the defensive side for these free throws for LaSalle. Tejada sinks the first.
3-point shooting of this LaSalle team, the reason they are where they are right now.
2-for-2 trip for Tejada. The lead back up to 10 with 1:25. Donaldson will roll the ball up to Davis. The clock has yet to start. Crosses the timeline. Now Davis picks up. The clock rolls. 1:25 and taking. Davis dribble drive. Stops, kicks out. Donaldson, left wing 3. Air balls. The rebound by Armendariz. Now Hayford the foul, and desperation time here for Fordham, trailing by 10. 1:14 to go. The clock becomes more and more of a factor, and with the lead still at double digits, this one becoming less and less likely a Fordham win.
Yeah, you know the Michael Jordan quote, Lou, I never lost a game, I just ran out of time. Seems like the Fordham Rams might have ran out of time here. Never really felt at all at any point in this game that Fordham couldn't get back and make this game competitive, but it seems like with just 1:14 left, they just will not have enough time to get back in this game.
It's a 1-for-2 trip from Armendariz. The rebound by Donaldson. 1:10 to go. Davis speeds ahead. Davis left wing, hesitates, drives, kicks. Flood left wing. Cross court, McGurk. Right wing 3. No. Flood tips it up off the backboard. Miller secures it. Less than a minute to go. Fordham trails by 11. Long cross court pass for Melius. Finishes on the right block. 28 points, a game high. And that will wrap this one up. Fordham trails by 13. Hayford short corner, back out Flood. Left wing 3, yes! Matilda Flood, 13 points. Miller speeds ahead, has it poked away. McGurk the steal. Taya Davis, right wing 3, air ball, and Miller the rebound. 38 seconds to go. Fordham still trails by 10. Long pass intercepted by Donaldson. Donaldson takes it up, takes the right wing 3. A little too strong. Slapped out of bounds, but ruled LaSalle ball off the fingertips of Taya Davis. LaSalle will call a timeout with 26 seconds left. The shot clock is dark, and Fordham's chances also dark.
Taylor Donaldson limping a little gingerly after that play as well. Got to make sure she is okay. This Fordham team, it's tough because when you look at this game, it's a game they should have won, and a game they almost put in their head as a W already, looking at the 6-game win streak they're currently on that is 26 seconds away from being broken. But also, another thing this Fordham team can't do, and we'll talk about it after the game as well, is they can't let this game, undo the work they've done over the last month with this win streak, this 6-game win streak. They can't let everything that win streak has done for their confidence and just them as a collective, they can't let that go all to waste here. They need to continue to have the amount of confidence they did leaving Philadelphia on Wednesday, and they really need to get in the right mindset with the A10 tournament seemingly now right around the corner.
I mean, talk about how much vibes can change in a matter of days. The confidence after the St. Joe's win, now they'll fall to 7-21 LaSalle. Fordham will foul, trailing by 10. And that's Donaldson. That's her fourth. Mass Antonio to the line, but 23.6 seconds left. Now Loyola Chicago 40 seconds away from losing to GW as Mass Antonio sinks the first. So both Loyola Chicago and Fordham will finish the year with 8-10 conference records. Loyola Chicago, the tiebreaker, but it doesn't matter. That will be the 8-9 matchup. Mass Antonio misses the free throw, but a violation, so she'll get another one.
And in the context of 2 to 3 months ago, this Fordham team in a great position heading into the A10 tournament. Definitely a lot better than they were maybe they were thinking maybe 2 months ago or so.
Mass Antonio has her free throw roll in, 12 on the day.
And Lou, if we're also going to talk context preseason as well, as Coach Brissette Mitchell almost says before every single game with us, they were picked to finish 13th in this conference. So what they have done, especially in the back half of this season, so impressive.
Flood straight on three. It's short. Donaldson fights for the rebound. The follow-up off glass and in. 26 points for Taylor Donaldson. Just have 13 seconds left. Fordham trailing by 10. LaSalle will call a timeout, but this one all over except for the formalities. And Chris, I think you touched on an important thing. You can't let this game ruin the momentum you had going into today. Obviously it stings. You don't win on senior day. You don't get back to 500 in conference play, and you lose to a team that on paper you thought you shaped up really well against. But you can't let it take away from all the good things that they did on this win streak. And I think you do worry what this loss does for the confidence level of the team with A10s right around the corner starting Wednesday.
Yeah, it reminds me of life advice my father gives me, actually. Don't let problems compound into other problems. You have to take this loss at face value. You can't let it compound into other things, and don't let it undo all the work you've done over the last month or so.
Tejada bounces left for Mass Antonio. The shot clock is off. LaSalle does not need to shoot. Fordham will not foul. 5 seconds and taking Tejada back to Bolden. Bolden will hold. The final second ticks off. LaSalle upsets Fordham on senior day. A shocking defeat here at Rose Hill. Fordham falls 93-83 thanks to magnificent three-point shooting from LaSalle. A season-high 93 points. They buried 23 pointers for a 55.6 percentage from beyond the arc. Just a remarkable day for LaSalle offensively.
Yeah, offensively, this LaSalle team having their best performance of their season. The three-point shooting, specifically in that third quarter, 8 3-pointers in a quarter, absolutely staggering from this LaSalle team, and a big reason why, honestly, they were in the lead, especially toward the end, with Fordham having a bit of a resurgence, cutting it down to 5 toward the end of that fourth quarter. But just overall, an impressive performance from LaSalle, and maybe not compounding into A10 tournament success this year, but they can take performances like this against experienced teams like Fordham and push that with their young roster into the next couple of years of their program.
It's a magnificent game for Nicole Malias, a career-high 28 points. Buried 8 of 10 3-pointers. Career-high 27 points for Tiara Bolden. It was just that kind of day for LaSalle offensively. Fordham falls on senior day. They are locked in to the 9 seed in the A10s, and especially because we don't have a post-game crew today, maybe let's get into it a little bit. Fordham will play 11 a.m. on Thursday. Loyola Chicago will fall to GW. And so that's the matchup, the 8 and 9 seed, Loyola Chicago versus Fordham. Whoever gets past that game plays the 1 seed, so the path certainly tough for Fordham. But as that St. Joe's game showed, anything is possible, but it will be a tough path.
Yeah, this Fordham team going into this A10 tournament really needs to have a self-belief about them that they could play with any team in this tournament. Because over this season, really in the back half, as we've talked about, is where you can see they can play with any team in this conference. Obviously, we talk about that St. Joe's game last game and how important that game was to morale and confidence for this team. But other games on the road, specifically games against teams like Richmond, teams like George Mason, teams like VCU, these are all games against maybe the best teams in the A10, and for quarters and even long stretches, they competed and maybe even outplayed these teams. So over this last, I would say, month to month and a half, where they've had so many road games and they've played in so many hostile environments over this last couple of weeks, you can see this Fordham team needs to have that self-belief and will have that self-belief that they can beat anybody going into this tournament.
This is the last game at Rose Hill for Fordham for the 2023-2024 season. Taylor Donaldson left her mark, 26 points, 6 of 14 from beyond the arc. And how about Matilda Flood, along with Miranda Nyborg? She's the longest tenured Fordham Ram on this team. She's been here for 4 straight years, played 4 straight seasons, 13 points in her final game at Rose Hill. So as we say goodbye to this senior group, that you look at a rebuilding Fordham team, but one that went the way of getting a lot of experience, getting transfers that were seniors, graduate students, an impressive game and an impressive season for a lot of those seniors as they say goodbye to Rose Hill.
Yeah, this senior group had been through a ton of ups and downs throughout this season. Coach Brissette Mitchell coming in for her first season. I'm assuming first seasons for head coaches cannot be an easy thing to kind of go about and be a part of as well. So the character of this group of seniors specifically, has really shown, and the culmination of that was on Wednesday against St. Joe's. Just such a hardworking, along with resilient group that has used those two characteristics to power this back half of the season and put themselves in a good spot heading into playoff time.
Once again, Fordham falls on senior day to LaSalle, 93-83. LaSalle improves to 8-21, 5-13 in conference. They will still be the 13 seed in the A10. Fordham falls to 13-16 and 8-10 in conference. They're locked into the 9 seed, a first round bye. They will play Loyola Chicago on Thursday. That will do it for our broadcast today. For Chris Carrino, I'm Lou Orlando. We will see you Thursday at 11 a.m. at the A10 tournament for Fordham versus Loyola Chicago. Until then, so long. Fordham women's basketball, as always, is a production of WFUV.